Hello everyone. So we are live with Balaji Viswanathan, one of the most followed person on Quora, and founder for a robotics company Invento, along with Vimal Singh Rathore, one of your most favorite educator.
Hello everyone. So welcome to this awesome live session, and I am feeling very excited for this live session because I am being the nascent Quora writer sitting with one of the most top followed Quora writer here. So I welcome Balaji Viswanathan here.
Hello, hi Vimal.
Thank you. So Balaji, this one question is striking me very often that everybody has those 24 hours, okay? And you being the top Quora writer from past 5 consecutive years, vice president of Invento, author of many books. So how do you find to write so much?
So writing is a hobby. It is more of a like fun time for me. Like previously, I used to spend that time watching movies. So I'm
Okay.
just taking off that time and also part of the time I've also taken off the reading. And it doesn't like writing itself doesn't take that much time. Like 1 to 1.5 hours a day. It's not.
So what will be a suggestion to those guys who often says that we don't get time for exercise, for yoga, for jogging? So how would you suggest? What would you suggest to them?
The thing is, if you find something good enough, you will find. If you find something that you love, you will find time for it. So, when we say we don't have time, that means we don't like that activity as much.
Exactly, as Balaji is saying, it is all about your love to that thing, your excitement, your motivation, and most of all, it's all about priorities, I think. So, Balaji find this time for writing, for reading books, because it is a hobby for him. So, if you like doing something, anything, you like cooking, you like gardening, you like writing, jogging, you can find time if you value it, okay? And my next question is, how writing on Quora has contributed to you as a personality, as an entrepreneur? What kind of achievement, what kind of thing you have gained from Quora?
So Quora helps me connect with a lot of very interesting personalities. In fact, I've gone to the homes of many of these famous Quora personalities. So it has given me different perspectives. So for instance, 2 weeks ago I was with Richard Muller, who's
Nice.
a famous scientist. So we had lunch together. We had discussed a variety of topics for a few hours. So Quora helps me connect with these smart people like Oliver Emberton, another favorite Quora writer of mine. So he invited me to his home in Nottingham, and so we had a great dinner and evening together. So that is, I think, would be the biggest benefit of Quora is connecting with very smart people. And also, so there are also some direct benefits to my current company also. Although it was not planned or it was not thought about, almost everyone in my company was hired through Quora.
Oh my God.
So we didn't do any kind of job posting. So we have 9 people, and all of them were hired through Quora. And we are also going for internships, and also everything comes through
From the
Quora.
Quora.
So that is quite useful.
So that is one thing I noticed, and you guys must have listened to this thing, that you just started writing on Quora as a hobby, and how it is contributing to his company. He is getting all his employees, all those interns from Quora. Yes, you can connect. Yeah, just a second, guys. Okay, thank you. So my next question is with the ongoing IT revolution, increasing internet penetration, increasing mobile penetration in villages of India, how do you find the relevance of online education?
So it is a very important one because if we have to educate 50 crore people in India, we cannot use schools and colleges and universities in the traditional way. We don't have enough good teachers for that. So the only way in which we can become a developed nation is by online education. There's no other option for us. So in the developed economies, they have other options. And the populations are smaller. They were also able to set it up over 200-300 years, the infrastructure, education infrastructure. For us, there is no such thing. So either we go online education or we go bust.
Okay. So regarding this, I have this one question also. I have just seen a video on YouTube about the future of online education, or instead it was on the topic of future of education. So presently in India and around the world also, things are going in the traditional ways. One teacher is there who knows everything, and whole class does not know anything. He teaches something. So but this thing is not working out. Okay. So around 4th century BC there was this Aristotle who taught personally to Alexander. So I think online education can bring that thing into like the thing like digital Aristotle can come into being, and people can get personal education. So my specific question is, if you were in 12th class or in graduation and in the present time, then how would you equate and how would you set your equation between online and offline education? And my next question is, what sort of different benefit you get from offline and online?
So if I were going back to 12th, I would probably like even question whether I should even go into college or not, because it is, I mean, college has a lot of other benefits, like making great friends and going to great competitions and those things. But in terms of the classes itself is not that useful. So almost 90% of what we learn in college is from the people around us, or like in our own taking initiative, going to the libraries and all. So fortunately, I got a full scholarship to go through But if I had to pay for it, probably I would not have gone to college if I had to, because it's think of like great historical characters like Babur and all those. They would like take an army when they were like 13, 14. We still think of like 17, 18-year-olds as kids. We are like most people are ready for taking up jobs by then. So if I have been doing like I would spend half the time on like this online education. Plus half the time I would be like working on, because online education is one piece of it. The other piece of it is the getting your hands on and making things, because making things one is it brings you the network. The second is it also helps you fine tune that thing, because you're implementing the process. So half the time on making stuff, and that will also a new stuff, and the rest of the time explore a variety of things like this best of the world teaching a range of topics. So I would spend like my time over there, like if I think back, like 4 years of this education, and then I did 4 more years of 2 masters, probably I would not do that.
Okay, then my next question is, how do you find the role of an academy in the future of online education? What kind of do you like the work we are doing, and what kind of advice or thing you want to say about an academy?
So I believe in an academy model. So 7 years ago I started a company in Nalanda on a similar thing. So that is because I truly believe that there is a need for democratizing education, and with the founders of an academy, so they were able to get through slowly getting into a business model. They were able to build that the momentum and the movement around them. So that is quite essential for building such a platform. And Khan Academy, again, another so this is the only question on will it be just a profit thing, or like Khan Academy, it is causing impact over the world. So that is the only concern right now. Will it be, because it is nobody has a solution this thing yet. So whether it's making impact or whether making money, there is the education. But either at least one of them we should be able to make through. And with thousands of great people offering their knowledge, for students, it is an amazing opportunity to gain perspective. So when you are really young, especially, you have to widen your mind with perspectives, because truth is not something a static one. Truth is something that is gained in your mind from looking at perspectives. Each one looks at a 3D, a 2D of that thing, and you have to stitch the whole thing to create a 3D in your mind. So nobody offers you truth. Nobody can offer you truth. Truth is something that you will form in your mind with perspectives. So in the same set of things, so you would be able to learn from thousands of different unacademic educators that will give you perspectives around a particular subject. That is very important.
One thing I would like to add to this, we are not just giving free lessons to students. We are our vision is to empower educators also. An educator living in remote desert, living in Himalayas, can also teach on an academy. So point is, we just don't want to offer content. We want to empower both educator and the learners. As you said, to gain the maximum number of perspectives, maximum knowledge, that knowledge would have been very very empowering for them. So that is the basic vision that we are working on. So thank you for insights on an academy. Thank you very much. So my next question is, what do you find? What kind of similarities do you find on between Quora and an academy?
So the reason why I got onto Quora, like after the Nalanda, it's because I believe in a continued the vision of getting a democratized education. With Quora again, there is like multiple perspectives, multiple education opportunities from like getting the best of the world. So in that way, Quora and an academy. And then I see the landing page; they both like somewhat look similar. So that is that is also like in an academy. I see there's a lot of it inspired from Quora, and having the video element is quite an important thing. So Quora and an academy both I can see. So if one is a book, other could be a classroom.
Yeah, thank you very much for that analogy. One is a book, then other is a classroom. Very nice. So yeah, one question I wanted to ask, like there has been a myth, I would say, in among Indians, that India has always been attacked. Okay, so like as I said, I didn't say that. I am just informing you guys. Balaji Viswanathan has just recorded a session with us on world history. Okay, in 2 parts. It will be coming very soon for you guys. So just gaining some knowledge about Indian history also, I wanted to ask him that there is a myth about Indian history that we have always been attacked. So what's your take on it?
So if you look at it, India is among the civilizations that has been attacked the fewest, and especially invaded the fewest. Like compare our sibling civilizations like Iran. Iran has been attacked so many times more than India. And at one point with the Mongols, the significant portion of the population was eliminated. India had no such major threat in our history. Persians were also taken over by the Greeks, and they were taken over by the Arabs. They were they had a huge extermination with the Mongols. Think of the Indian history, you will find no such thing. So we were sort of attacked in our periphery, by the Gori Ghazni guys and on the edges of India, and then that was also fairly infrequent. And other than the Mughal Empire that was there for about 200 years, we didn't have as many of these outsiders taking over. And so again you have to look at the perspective. So we are looking at like 4,500 years of the Indian history, of which the outsiders were there for less than half the time, and for far smaller than half of India. So think of it, and we have been able to challenge, and we are able to stop the greatest of invaders in of world history. Think of Alexander; he was stopped on the banks of Indus. Think of Genghis Khan; he was able to conquer everything around India, but not India. And before the Darius, again, we was able to conquer all the way up to Europe, but not past Indus. Or if you think of the Arab caliphates, they were able to take over even Spain. But then, like India was right next to them, but they were not able to take over India past the Indus River. So when you look at it, the greatest of the conquerors were not able to pierce past India. India is a fortress. The only way to take over India is being on its edge, and then slowly going into the country and waiting for the nation to collapse on its own. So that's what the Europeans did. They were in the edges of India, starting small factories and in the coast. And for 200 years they waited until there was a collapse. That was the only way to take over India. In fact, if the Europeans tried attacking in 1500s, they would have been dead in no time, because there was a completely unequal battle. But then they were here for 200 years. They understood the system. They were able to make allies. They were able to do that. And then waited for the right time for our own empires to collapse. So that is doing that is extremely complicated. But that is the only way sort of to take over India.
Very nice. Thank you, Balaji. So one question that must be occurring in everybody's mind, including mine. See, what is the source of this knowledge?
So pretty much some knowledge.
Like you have knowledge in history, world history, polity, economy, everything. So how do you collect this thing?
So, but all of these are connected. So we call these different disciplines now, but pretty much all of these are about understanding the human behavior, human interaction with the world around us. And so there are only three steps in acquiring knowledge. First is observation. So we try to somehow equate knowledge building with books. So books is just one small way in which we acquire knowledge, but the predominant way is observation. Think of great guys like Newton or Galileo and all those. Yes, they spend time in reading books, but the biggest portion of their time was in observing nature and observe the people around you, like because they have a lot of insight, they have a lot of experience. So observation through travel, observation through talking to people, that is a key element, and try to use all your senses, because our human brain works by association.
Exactly.
And that association will be stronger if you are using more senses than just using the eyes where you're trying to capture it up. So can you travel to places where you feel the sense and touch and those things. So that is the first part of this observation. And if you just keep just observing alone, you're not going to build up a lot of knowledge. You're going to get a lot of data, and this data will wear you down. So the next step in that is trying to connect these dots in patterns, like making rangolis. So you have to connect these, I guess, because that is the only way to keep them together. If you have these small dots, these dots will vaporize and will go on. But connect these the dots all around. So that means it will be properly stuck to the ground. So that is, so you form theories, you form assumptions, you form patterns that you do. That is the second key element of it. And the third key element is go and do experimentation on the world. So you're basically validating what you are looking at. So that is again taking over, and then you could, for instance, entrepreneurship is you could start small ventures, or if you are in politics, you can start you can get into small organizations. So where you are validating your theory with the practice. So that is where the practically doing stuff. So observation. Second is theorizing and connecting the dots. And third is about going and practically doing things. So those are the three ways to acquire knowledge.
I am getting goosebumps here, and you guys might see the excitement and the passion in his eyes when I asked him this question about reading. So I want to summarize in my own way. He said ki book reading is one part, and observing, traveling, interacting with people, noticing their observation is second part, and third thing is experiment. So regarding observation, I would like to add one point, that you have only one mind. But if you talk to people, you travel a lot, you interact with various people, you get the knowledge, you get the experience of all those minds. So knowledge grows exponentially by that way. And after getting that knowledge, you can experiment, you can learn, you can create new things. So that is the importance of reading. So I would request everyone here who is watching this live session, who will watch this video, to involve yourself in reading and interacting with people, interacting with the nature. So that will induce new ideas, new innovation, new enthusiasm in you. So thank you, Balaji, for this live session. It was very, very awesome talking to you, and I hope I will get many more Quora writers from India after watching this live session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vimal.